We got to test the fucking shit out anyway.
So my biggest thing is I can't believe people don't understand or can't remember where and when and what exactly happened when they went to boot camp. That shit kills me. Right? Is that even true? So here's the best part. I saw a video the other day, and this is no shit. It's believable.
Wow.
Because
poor kitty.
Can we please?
Oh yeah, get out of here, kitty. Who do you think you are?
All right, baby. Well, I didn't see his eyes until then. Now I'm like, oh, now I'm okay with it.
He feels distraught.
Yeah.
Didn't look like he'll make it now.
No, now he's like, yo.
Oh, Jesus. Did you see that foot?
So we're supposed to use this?
It's the mic. Otherwise, it'll pick up that echo. It'll sound like we're as far away as we are in here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just yell at it. It's a small mic, so you're going to have to yell louder.
It does look really small.
It's blue. Why is yours blue? Is mine fucking blue? Oh, you're holding the power button. Or did you press the power button?
I'm not doing anything. What does that mean?
It means you had pushed it at some point, and now it's good again. Green, it's good.
All right.
Kitty.
Hey, buddy.
Sit there.
So I guess we were talking about lung cancer.
Yeah.
Everybody's messed up.
Being sick, illnesses. What about that? You got any conspiracies on the world getting everybody sick to make you buy the vaccines?
Yeah. No. I was pissed off because we were watching. I love watching all these because my dad's a Vietnam vet, and I sort of can't get enough of it. I actually went to the theater and saw Oliver Stone's movie, Platoon.
Oh, yeah?
I went to the theater with just me and my dad. My dad not. My father and myself.
Right.
We went to the theater. And it's Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
This is my dad, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was 1986, so I was only 10. And but I was already so engulfed in the military because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Up until that point, he was a flight instructor in Pensacola, Florida, which I kind of remember being there, but I was a little kid. And then, of course, after that, we ended up in Northern Virginia like everyone else that retires from the military. And, wow, look at that is a weird walk. Look. It looks like she's wounded, right?
Yeah, that's a sitting posture. It looks like she stood up and then quite straightened herself out, like she's been sitting for 3 years. And
it's totally weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess the moral story is this. My very first memories of military stuff, so my dad was the CO training down in flight school in Pensacola, and I just remember seeing dudes running through the obstacle course there, which is really cool to see when you're 5, and you see these big,
grown man playgrounds. Yeah.
And if you see pictures now, they look like babies. Like if you see my dad, wings,
yeah.
I mean, he looks like the kid that is not even allowed to operate a lawnmower. But, actually, I mean, he still looks like a guy who shouldn't operate a lawnmower. You seen him recently? But you get what I'm saying, right? So I saw that at a very young age, and then I saw my dad. So he thought the drone instructors that ran flight school down there, because Marines do that. They do the discipline stuff when guys go to flight school. And these are cats that have already graduated the United States Naval Academy. Then they go to Pensacola, and then they get fucked up again by dudes wearing the Eagle Globe and Anchor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's kind of fun. he has a video of these dudes spraying back in the day when you could have spray for right guard or whatever into the lockers, and they had lieutenants in there, dude, messing them up. It wasn't pretty. But my dad would have cookouts and stuff, so these guys impressed me. I saw them just tiny. But still, some dude walks in like that. Hey, what's everybody doing in here? Guess what? We're having steaks. It's just kind of that mentality, just that beef, you know?
Yeah.
And
I know what you mean. We saw Starship Troopers in the theater. My father and I. I know exactly where you're coming from.
Oh, so we also, my dad took me to see in the theater another Kubrick movie, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, I soaked in. And so that was also 1986. So, I mean, Jesus Christ, like, I respect my dad for being like, he needs to see this.
Yeah.
And, but, I didn't do so hot after that. A lot of violence and stuff, but in a party kind of way.
So make the world go round.
Yeah.
Violence. Case in point. Fuck you, kitty.
Shh. You see that thing out there? See?
Outside?
Here it comes. Look.
She lost. Because
You didn't see it, though,
she went the one. Yeah, she went the one way. I saw it. Took her a while to get to my field of view.
So anyway, the whole conversation started with, I didn't know what we should be talking about. But I guess the last thing I really wanted to talk to you about was, I love...
Wait, when you say the last thing, that means like we've said it all.
You lost me.
And this is going to be the last thing that we ever talk about? Or
No,
is it
you already made your point. When you said, I said it was the last thing, I guess I'm done.
Seems like a waste.
Yeah, I don't know, kill it. You think a Marine can't keep up. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so...
You meant the last time, you were thinking about something before, and that was...
Before that.
And that was last.
To make that...
That time was last.
Yeah.
You're talking about last as a time period, and not necessarily the last time period.
I just believe that dudes try to say they can't remember where they went to boot camp.
Oh, right, yeah.
I just thought that was hilarious.
I was surprised at how much I forgot, because they give you a yearbook at the end. I lost that fucking thing so fast, and then I found it, and now it's gone forever. But that moment where I found it, I looked through stuff, the pictures of my I don't
Why
remember.
is it gone forever, Brian?
I don't remember any of that. I don't know. My mother was keeping it, and it fucking got chucked or something.
You don't remember boot camp?
I remember plenty parts of boot camp. My point was, like, some of the stuff that was documented in that yearbook, like, fucking way I remember that.
No. Let me tell you this. I didn't opt for all that because I don't know, man. I was older. Like I told you, I turned 21 in boot camp.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that night. Dude goes, I had some special mail.
Did you hit your button again? Give it a pinch on the bottom there.
Is it working?
Now it is, yeah. You must have hit it when you put it on yourself.
Oh, I did it.
It's my fault, because I should have been watching what you were doing to your own body. It's my fault.
Thank you. I thought I was going to have to say that.
Yeah, no, you have to correct me.
No, I appreciate that,
You have
because
to correct me.
I don't make mistakes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You real thin.
Yeah, I thought you had forgotten that you didn't make mistakes.
Master.
That's my mistake.
Thank you.
For assuming.
Perfect. What were we talking about?
It was something about boot camp.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't believe that. Well, first of all, no one believes if you ask, oh, where'd you go to boot camp? And they don't remember. That's I tune you out. And I just go, I'm not the guy that's going to go, oh, really? Hold up my phone and all that stuff. And I don't, I shouldn't have done that. I don't mean to make fun because I think people should be doing that. But for me, I'm just a bitch in that way. I get so uncomfortable for the guy lying to me.
Oh, right. People are actually lying.
Like he's looking right at me, and I 100% know it's bullshit. When one guy, I don't understand. There's been a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no reason. Like, it won't make any difference. Like, if you were, you weren't. But dude goes, he looked like he was 15, but the flip side of that is some dudes look like that.
Yeah.
Like 2 years into the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. But here's the difference. I was in the military, you were in the military. I would know right away just by your demeanor, how you stand, look, talk, walk, haircut. You get it, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, no way. But he goes, I think he asked for, I was selling, this is back when I was selling cars or something like that, and he asked for some kind of discount or whatever the fuck it was. And then he starts talking about how he was a disabled veteran. And dude, I'm looking at this fucking child, and I'm just like, veteran of what? Like, microwave damage? Like, what happened? I don't understand what you're talking about. And then he goes, I said, oh shit, man. And again, I don't call people out.
Yeah.
I just don't have time for it. I don't care. But in this case, I just said, what happened, buddy? Oh shit, what happened? If I was talking to you, like you and I just met, like we, and then you were like, oh, eventually we would never have a conversation about being disabled or whatever if it wasn't completely apparent,
Right.
or we didn't meet in that capacity.
Right.
And I'm saying, this sounds like a whole bunch of blah, but your brain goes through all these things in a millisecond when you meet somebody who's trying to get something out of you for being a wounded veteran or a veteran, period.
Yeah.
It's like the Matrix thing goes through your head. How's he dressed? How's he look? What's he look like? How's he talk about it? And then boom,
Yeah.
Especially when I asked a guy, I was like, as a Marine, when you say, oh shit, man, where'd you go to boot camp? If you're meeting way outside, and they would be like, they'd either tell you they're Hollywood or fucking Paris Island. That's it. And if they know that and they're faking it, you would still be like another Marine who went to Paris Island would be like, oh, fucking me too. Like, dude, what platoon and shit? Everyone would know. Hotel 2, whatever the fuck it was. Echo, blah, blah, blah. 22, 30. So I was 2113. Hotel company. Green shirts. Like, when I say green shirts, like, duh, it's a Marine Corps. No, but like this neon green shit they had back in this 1997, 98.
Each company was color coded.
Yeah. Dark blue,
PT outfit.
green. Yeah, the PT, like, they look like 1981 soccer shirts or whatever, which we wore once when you do this 4-mile run, which is nothing, by the way, on week 13. You're just, like, you don't even get winded, dude.
Right.
It's amazing. It really is. I mean, dude, boot camp is the shit. For that age. Like, could I do it now? Yes, I think so, but I'm also delusional. Because that's intense, dude. They're running. The drill instructors are running backwards, screaming at you, and I'm just like, how's that fucking possible? And the shit's still perfect on his pants, and he's running backwards, man.
Well,
and I'm fucking dying. And he's looking at you. But I tell you, the guy fucking hit a car one time. And he goes, did you see that? I was like, I sure fucking did. Wow. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off. I get all fired up on these stories.
I don't recall exactly where I was.
Perfect. Go.
Boot camp. So I remember obviously there's parts in boot camp that stand out, like the Gubbins story, the guy chasing the flashlight down the fucking hall. And that's the drill instructor showing up fucking drunk, right? He's doing the night shift.
So I never saw any shit like that.
Yeah, that's sailor shit right there.
We're Marines. We're supposed to be worse. That to where the guy that fucking held a canteen above his head.
Yeah. So it was that. I mean, some of the fat guys getting dropped for eating donuts when they weren't supposed to.
Oh my god, that really happens.
I remember my personal experience, like getting your teeth taken out, X-rays, getting not really rolled back, but I was held back because I missed my chest X-rays, so I had to.
Oh yeah, you told me.
I had to stay after boot camp for another month, so I had to stay in the area adjacent base NTC for about another 6 or 30 days, waiting for X-rays, and then I finally went to submarine school, and.
But the thing that was what started the conversation.
I remember some stuff, but there's chunks of it. Obviously,
but that's because you haven't been around anybody like you that reminds you of things. So here I want to get into details a lot of times because I think it's neat, and I don't ever hardly all of a sudden. Something will click if I talk to another military guy, and then I'll remember what it was really exactly like.
Oh, right.
So, and here's a really interesting story. So, MEPS, we're in Northern Virginia, right here, is in Baltimore. And we go to Baltimore like 3 o'clock in the morning. Takes all fucking day. MEPS, yeah. ASVAB, even though you took it, you take it again, blah, blah, blah. You talk to a recruiter, blah. And all this shit happens. It happens very quickly. You get a package, you go home. That's how it actually works. And then finally you get a date, and then you actually go to your recruiting office again at like 3 a.m. is when you meet up. And if you have, for some reason, you can't get there at 3 a.m., trust me, your recruiter will pick you up. In a government van or whatever. You probably 2-3 other recruits in there, male and female, or whatever. And then you roll on to. I can't remember. We might have consolidated at the recruiting office for a couple minutes. You got paperwork together, IDs, copies of shit you need, shit you're going to put in the bag, and everything. Dude, you're going. You're going now. Not MEPS. I'm talking about after.
Yeah.
After you've passed all the medical stuff and you got your contract. Then then that man, good God, they took us to. We flew. They took us to BWI.
Yeah.
So Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore, Washington. We went there.
Yep.
And
that's where the MEPS station is up there in Maryland.
Pretty close, yeah. But I went to MEPS like way before I flew out.
Yeah.
That was a crazy thing. But anyway, you got this package that they put in rubber band, they give it to you, and you're probably with 2-3 other guys or a girl, whatever the fuck it is. I was with all dudes, but we weren't all going to the Marine Corps. There might have been one person that was getting off in South Carolina going to some Army base or something like that. I don't know. But here's the interesting part. So you got these orders, and they tell you exactly what to do, and they're wrapped. You don't open them. You don't think you can never let this shit out of your hand. And some people flying down south know that, but a lot of people don't. But, in retrospect, I remember seeing people like that walking around with like this big yellow envelope. But you don't really think much about it. So I sit down. It's not a long flight, man. What, an hour? And then we're landing, or not even landing. I'm next to this dude, and he's probably, I'm 6'2". He's probably 5'8". And his hair was a little long, but he was squared away. And guess what? This once we get up to altitude, like cruising altitude, when you're
fucking kitty,
when your ears are already popped and shit, he's like, "Hey, so is that your package? You going to recruit training?" And I was just like, "Yes." Like, I don't know, man. Yeah. My hair's not even cut yet.
Yeah.
And then he goes, So what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'm joining the Marines. And he goes, well, right, but do you have a contract? I said, yeah, I want to go infantry. I want to be, I'm going to be an 0311. That's what I wanted to be, a rifleman. I volunteered. And he goes, he goes, but they made you be something else? And I was like, yeah. Like, how the fuck? This guy, and then he's like, hey man, and I barely remember what his name was, because then he went, well, I'm this and this and this. I'm with the SEAL teams, and this guy's right next to me.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about being in the SEAL teams, and I'm like, oh my god, man, I look like a fat, pale teenager. And this cat, I should have put it together, because you look at him, you're like, he was definitely, but it's so played it down. It wasn't until after he actually said it.
Right.
And I grew up in the military. But this cat, and then all of a sudden you look at him, he's got shorts on, and it's like, okay, he could like just go, see ya. Stop the plane.
Just kick jump itself.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be funny as shit.
It makes you move it. This thing's so going.
No, that really happened. I'm going to fucking...
I think it's 21 minutes strong.
So I'm going to... I'm flying down.
Yeah, sweet.
So I'm flying down. Listen. And now I'm next to this Navy SEAL. And he's talking my ear off. And I'm fucking nervous, man. I'm going to boot camp. Like, this shit's real. I was in the delayed entry program for a year. Just because I switched high schools, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't fucking believe it. And here's this guy. And at first, part of you goes, does this guy know that I grew up in the military and I know what frogmen are? Like, you say Navy SEAL, a lot of people back then, 1997, Charlie Sheen, the fucking, he jumps off a bridge. Right. That makes you a Navy SEAL. They know how to do backflips off a Mile High Bridge.
Check.
Yeah. Boom. First prerequisite. There you go.
Yep, be an asshole.
Yeah. And likely die. So anyway, but the guy was cool, but half the shit he was saying was going in one ear and out the other, because he's like, well, this happens, and teamwork and this shit, and I was just like, but what was funny was, again, I was older, but I looked so young at that time, and I looked like I was 14 years old. Yeah. Look at my boot camp graduation picture. I look 12, actually, and wearing my dad's boot camp hat. But, sorry, again, my point is I remember every aspect of it, and it's really weird. So I'm sitting next to this guy, and we finally get down to South Carolina, and we're landing, and it's late, man. It's like 8 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock. Late, but not that late. And again, you're so tired at that point. You're not, because they took you there at 4 a.m. You're not really thinking about it. Yeah. So you get off the plane. Now we're in South Carolina, and we're walking off the plane, and I'm not sure. Like, is this where the yellow? Like, I don't know what's going on. So we get off, and I see all these Marines. I'm like, shit, we're here. But there's like civilians all mixed in with us, and you can see these Marines are all standing there, but they're not wearing Smokey Bears, but they might as well. And they're all pointing, you got this big brown folder with you wrapped in, you're definitely a recruit, right? And they're pointing people in directions. And I can't remember what time it was, but anyway, they actually put us all off onto the side like this in a big area. And there's probably 100 of us. I'm telling you, half the plane. And so, they look at your paperwork, and I don't know how they know or whatever the hell it was, but then they put you here, here, here. So obviously you're grouped into whatever, Alpha Company, Bravo Company, whatever the fuck it is. And so then all of a sudden you're sitting in these blocks, very squared away. And these guys are walking around, but they don't have Smokey Bears on. Again, they're in the airport. And the weird thing is, it's still a civilian airport. So either these people that are getting on and off the airplanes know they're used to this shit.
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking kids sitting here going like this.
Yeah.
They're like, left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee. And I mean, just walking around like, oh, so one guy's like, oh, you're gonna take a piss, and that's why my GPS every time I show up, it goes, man, you here now. Because this motherfucker walks off the airplane. He's like a kid, dude. And he goes, oh, I need to take a piss or like urinate. And this Marine goes, man, you here now. Like, he just said it in the most demonic way I've ever seen. And so I was like thank God.
Like pissing's not an option anymore. Like, you should have pissed before you got on that plane.
Suck it back up and refilter it through your body.
You don't piss for another 13 weeks.
You sloppy body. That's how they talk. They go like this. You nasty body. That's how they talk. Like, you think it won't get to you, right? But go 3 days without sleep.
Yeah.
And some guy goes, you're a pig. And you're like, I'm a pig. Very upsetting. This shit gets to you, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're getting off, and as we're landing, we're like taxiing, and here's this fucking Navy SEAL, right? And he's going, hey, Rick, and I'm like, he's like climbing over shit. He's like, see this new C-17, whatever the fuck it was.
Right. 5
aircraft lined up over there, obviously military aircraft, and he's like, hey, we're not Navy SEALs, but hey, Riggs, see that new fucking shit? So we get off the plane. Everybody's got to piss, right? So the Marines were cool about that. And then I just remember the one dude. Maybe he asked to use the phone. I just remember this dudes that you don't ask them questions. Like, I thought it was obvious, right? And a lot of people went the other way, and that's where the closest dude I was to was the one that just said, "Man, you here now," and I just love it. And the fucking kid was like, what are you asking for, Grey Poupon? You know what I'm saying? He was so upset. And I was like, hey, man, let's get the fuck out of here. But listen how the tables turn. Because I was so disoriented by the time, skip forward real quick, this is really funny. When they issue, I can't believe how quickly they issue you rifles. It feels like you just got your shit, barely holding up your trousers.
Right. And
they're like, here's a fucking gun. And I was just like, so this motherfucker hands me the rifle. He's like, they're all everybody's pissed at you all the time. Dude, for 13 weeks. It's a long time to be a scumbag.
Yeah.
And again, not even barely touching the outside of the Navy SEAL thing again, but that's 6 months of being a scumbag, and then another year until you're even barely accepted into anything as a SEAL. But as a Marine or a Marine Raider, 18 months, 24 months, all that shit goes on and on and on. But we can edit that out. What was I talking
about? Being a piece of shit for 13 weeks.
Yeah. Man, I was in the middle. So detail by detail. Because I can't stand when people can't remember boot camp. It blows my mind. So just got off the plane, they're already fucking with you, and then literally, man, you're sitting in this square, left hand with you have to have your chin down, but no talking, no anything, and they're just walking in circles around you, kind of talking shit a little bit, but again, I was 20. And you don't know who you grouped with. And then finally, dude, you're there for like what seems like forever. Especially imagine you've never been through anything like this in your life. And now suddenly some fucking bunch of scary motherfuckers are making you sit super uncomfortably for hours, dude. They're like, you're just sitting there and you kind of look up, you're like, get down. And there's people walking by with like briefcases going, shit. Because I could see it. And I was like, hey, man, this is pretty cool. Then after a while, I was like, hey, man, this fucking sucks. After like, how long are we going to be here? But I'm not going, excuse me. So sure. There's a lot of us, so I'm just going to go with the flow, right? And so finally, I don't remember how or whatever, they funneled us down into some basement area in the fucking airport, man. And then they walk around and they funnel you into those shitty, like fold out. You would see them on ships. The fold out like picnic tables, like metal.
Yeah.
Big room full of them, male and female all mixed together. But at this point, it's all people going to Marine recruit training, right? Male and female. They come around the super wrapped sandwich.
Yeah.
So it's got like 18 layers of plastic on it. And then in that plastic somewhere
there's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich. And then somewhere also one mustard and a very old mayonnaise, maybe some relish or somebody's fingernail, and other body parts. And you're just like, so they give you that and like a canned drink, whatever the fuck it was. I can't stress enough that, I was 20. I was disoriented, but I was like, hey, man, you know what? This is going to be good. I don't give a shit. So I start munching this sandwich. And then people were like it's a trick.
Right.
And then, right then, man, it got really quiet. And I'm like, and it goes, and I'll hear, I started shit. And I don't know what came over me, dude. Maybe it was the lack of sleep. I was like, we haven't even fucking there yet, and you're crying.
Funny, man.
So finally, they feed you and yell at you and scream at you about a little bit of shit, but not too bad because you're still in this place I've never seen in my life in an airport.
Yeah.
Now they funnel you out, and there's like 16 what it looks like. I've never seen like Greyhound buses all lined up, and now I know I can tell you what time it is. It was probably about 11 o'clock at night, 2300. Which we've been sitting there for hours at the airport because they wait. They'll only take in recruits past midnight at Parris Island.
Yeah.
You're disoriented, the whole sleep thing. So we go out there, and they're screaming at you. Now it's on, but not as on as it Parris Island, but enough where you're scared shitless, right? You're running around with we're going, it's dark, and fucking. They got these buses numbered, and they're trying to link them with your last name. And you're like, what? L26? What? And I'm like, I missed the fucking bus. I'm like, oh my God, my first day on Parris Island, I missed the fucking bus? And like, holy shit. And this motherfucker, he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, looking for my bus. He's like, that way. Ah, you're so stupid. Like, literally, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go.
Hey, sir.
You're like, I'm pretty dumb. Fucking running. I get on there. And then, like, you'll notice this right away. Here's the best part. I saw so many shitheads when my fat ass got on that bus that looked at me like, what's this guy going to do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got my orders. That's the way they're saying it, right? But I outdid every motherfucker in that platoon. Bitch got fucking promoted. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all up here. But, so you get on this fucking Greyhound bus, and they take you, you're driving for a little while, but you think you're going to fall asleep, but man, no way. It's fucking midnight. You're like, then you pull on and it starts to smell like the marsh.
Yeah.
That brackish water smell. And you get out there, and then all of a sudden you see that above water piping everywhere. You're like, where the fuck are we, man? It's like, I mean, you know where you are, but you're like, this is weirder than I thought it would be. And then the worst thing is, and then, guys are mumbling shit like, here it comes. And you're pulling up, and you can see those motherfuckers out there. They're fucking hardcore, and you're like,
Yeah.
And they go, and of course, it gets on there, everybody, but you know what they're going to say. Like, get the fuck off the bus, get all your shit and do it now.
Yeah.
And get on the fucking footprints. And that's all cool. You do that, they're screaming at you. I can handle it. And then they filter you. Finally, everything takes forever, dude. You're standing there, and you realize how many recruits are going in there. This is '97. I don't know how many they do now, but I mean, it was a long time. And they had these gigantic, it looks like a Game of Thrones thing. Big fucking Marine Corps thing in the middle. It looks, and then they let one big group in at a time.
Yeah.
And then you move up the next set of yellow. So you go in there, and the first shit they do, well, it's hard. It's kind of hard to remember a little bit of this shit, whether or not they made you call, and you had a number, and if you got a voicemail,
Right.
they had a card you had to read.
Yeah.
I've arrived at Paris Island, blah, 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 blah. And then, they filter you through, and they go through this big thing. Hey, we catch you with any shit. You got blah, 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 blah. So you empty out everything. And then slowly, man, you start losing all your clothing pretty quickly until you're down to your skivvies.
Yeah.
Right? And then they shave your fucking head. And what the weird thing is how it's set up. So everywhere you go as a recruit, you're following this line of half-naked dudes, and there's always a big raised wooden section where they walk. So they're fucking. I'm 6'2", man. So their feet were like at my head.
Yeah.
So they're walking around looking down. So it's literally, they're moving. They might as well, and so they keep your ass awake for 72 hours. And so you're going through this shit. And I was pale, chubby, and everything. And there's females in there walking around and looking at you and making fun of your ass too, man. They did. She goes, this was funny. You had to they had this big line of boots nailed to a board.
Yeah.
Like, keep putting your foot in one until one fits. And he's like, you got to put it in there. I was like, okay. He's like, wait a minute, okay. I was like, I don't know what to fucking make of that, bro. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Does it? It's not a hard question. That's like, hold your papers up. It's paper. It doesn't weigh anything. That scared the shit out of me, bro.